Good afternoon. I'm David Griffin with Meathead Charcoal. We're back with another episode of our brand new series where I'll be sitting down with passionate entrepreneurs across all industries to learn how they built their businesses from the ground up. We'll be hearing all of it, the wins, the losses, the growth, the setbacks, to learn how they took an idea and turned it into something great. So whether you're dreaming of starting your own business or just love a good success story, this is the series for you. So sit back, grab a drink, and let's get going. So today we're fortunate to be here in beautiful Gainesville, Georgia with a friend of mine, Mr. Roland Stanley. Roland's a local entrepreneur and we appreciate him being here.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here. And just for a little, backstory to this is I actually used to work with you. I was probably your youngest coworker at the time over at Metro Appraisals. And David played a very influential part in my life. He gave me the flexibility and ability to make some extra money while I was serving and waiting tables and really kind of learning about the restaurant industry throughout college, which was really a really cool thing. And I am forever grateful for that.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I've played a part in your journey. So Roland, as he mentioned, started out in the real estate industry just as an intern, but he always had a knack for really knowing he wanted to be in the restaurant business. And he's become a true restaurateur on the local Hall County scene. So Roland, tell us a little bit about which businesses you're in these days.
So currently right now it started out with Corkit here on the Gainesville Square, and that grew to 3 different locations, Corkit in Beaufort and Brazelton. And then we have the Stag Chop House, which we're sitting in right now upstairs in our antler room, which we do live parties and events and live jazz every Fridays and Saturdays. Then we have Caroline's on Main in downtown Flowery Branch, Peyton's Pie Company, which does wood-fired pizza, and Better Days, which is our craft cocktail bar, which is in Flowery Branch as well. We've got a few businesses that are on the way. Whistle Q Barbecue, Texas style. That's coming. That'll be open in the next month, which is really exciting. And we've also just purchased some land in Hamilton Mill, and we're building a 6,000 square foot food hall that's going to have 4 of our concepts and a bar as well.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then recently, on top of that, just to because I was not busy at all, and we were so slow, is we reached out and to some friends of ours, and they own Grubbs Market, a local market. I'm sure you're probably familiar with it. And we are now partners in that as well, which is really cool. It's got an awesome butcher shop. We do all prime cuts, and we've got a really nice boutique wine selection as well.
Well, that's great. I know Grubbs Market carries Meathead Charcoal.
We
certainly
do
appreciate that.
We do carry Meathead Charcoal, the best charcoal out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Roland, I know personally that you worked in restaurants while you were in high school, but what was it that really truly inspired you to know that you wanted to dive deeper into the restaurant industry?
I think I still don't know what I want to do, David, if I'm being honest, but every day what excites me is other people. So for me to work in this industry, it's almost selfish because I just take so much pride in serving others and giving people a good time and a good experience. And so every day when I wake up, it really does feel like I'm not going to work. I mean, I cannot wait to get out of bed and get in the restaurants and work alongside the team that we've built. I think they're the best in the industry, and just their desire to work hard and their desire to do the right thing and serve our guests is really ultimately what drives me every day. That's not what you asked me, but that's what I said.
Well, that's really inspiring, though. That says a lot about you and your character and your care for the community. And I think what a lot of people don't know is that you're only 27 years old. So with all the list of businesses that you just named off right there, it's pretty amazing what you've been able to accomplish in a short period of time. It's fun to watch, and I know we're certainly all rooting for you and proud of you. But what would you say in the beginning, given that you just really jumped into it? What were some of those first hurdles that you experienced?
A lot of it was really mental. I was really diligent in saving money, so I had just a little bit of money that I was able to put down to be a part of my first little restaurant deal. But I'd say a lot of it's mental because there's that huge fear of failure, right? And if we look back at what the definition of an entrepreneur is, and one of the most basic definitions is it's just someone that takes a risk. And taking that risk when you're 22 years old, you just came out of college, you have no idea what you're going to do with your life. I think that biggest fear that you have is that fear of failure. And that's a mental hurdle that you have to jump through. But I was so fortunate to have a lot of really great mentors in my life, such as yourself, that helped me to be able to understand risk and understand what it is to take risk and to take a leap of faith to do something that might not make it.
So was there a moment in time that it truly just all clicked into place and you felt like you were getting over the hump?
Yes and no. And for me, I think it comes on a day-by-day basis, right? Some days I wake up and it's just the best thing ever. But some days you wake up and it is the coffee machine is flooding water and it's been running all night, and there's 6 inches of residual water in your kitchen at your breakfast restaurant that opens at 7:30 in the morning. And some days it's just like everything's clicked. No one's called out for work. Everyone shows up on time. The reservation book is full, and those days are great. But ultimately, I could not imagine myself working for somebody else or not being in the position that I'm in, just because I really love building a team. I really love building a brand, and I really love caring for guests and providing them with a space to come in and almost feel like they're at home. And I think that's where we really excel in what we do is everyone that comes into our spaces is they really feel welcome. They feel like they're at home. And those are the best guests. Those are the people that you want to frequent your establishments.
So given the ups and downs on a daily basis in the restaurant business, and being that you have many restaurants you're involved in, is there one thing across the board that you feel like's made the biggest impact?
I think it's really the team, and I think it's we hire people that we think can solve problems and make decisions, and that's really important across the board, is to give people the ability to do that. And something that's really been a key to our success is allowing people to make decisions, and even if it's the wrong decision, it creates an opportunity for us to learn a lesson and find a new way forward. Another thing that I think we're really doing differently is our marketing. There's not many restaurants up in this area, at least, that are taking social media seriously. If you look around, everyone's on their phones and on Instagram or TikTok, and they're swiping. But I think that by just doing that differently, we're getting so much more engagement, and that's really is driving our sales in an upward trajectory, just because we are doing things differently in the area because we're different. But what's really cool about our team is they're very driven and they're very determined, and they're all on board with our mission and vision as a company, because I own this restaurant by myself, and my business partner, he owns his own restaurant, Antebellum Restaurant, Chef Nick St. Clair, in Flowery Branch. But together we own a lot of restaurants and grubs. But what we do is we really do operate all of them kind of the same way. We have the same management style at all the establishments. The foods here is not Nick's food, but it's still really good, and it's made from scratch. We use all prime beef products, and we are doing things differently by not using seed oils in our fryers, which has become a really big trend, which I think is good because it's better for you, really is. So when you come into our establishment and have a meal, not only does it taste good, not only is the atmosphere great and the service is great, but you leave feeling great. And not a lot of places you can say that about anymore, just because of all the junk that they're putting in our food. And we're really trying to differentiate ourselves by being a healthier option.
Well, it makes sense to me. I've eaten on all of your restaurants, and I can vouch for that. They're all delicious, and we always feel great afterwards. Very happy that we came in.
Love
That's
it.
a tribute to you and your staff. So you knew early on that you wanted to get involved in restaurants. You wanted to have your own restaurant. But a lot of people out there want to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people want to start their own business. Some never do. Some do, and it doesn't work out. Some do, and they just truly don't understand what it takes. What are the qualities that you think it truly takes to be a successful entrepreneur?
Well, David, it really takes gumption. It takes the ability to get up every day, and regardless of what happened the day before, it's just keeping your head up and pushing forward. I like to say, don't let your highs get too high and your lows get too low. And that I don't think that there's any other statement that is in my mind more than that, because every day is different when you're an entrepreneur. Some days everything is flowing perfectly. Other days you're stuck on the side of the road with a catering for 300 people and all the food's in the back of your van. I mean, then that's a real situation, and it's happened before. But what makes an entrepreneur is really your ability to pivot, your ability to make decisions. And it's been really interesting on this journey the last 5 years, just going. It really started out working in the business, right? Which I still do a lot of, just because it's just the hospitality industry. So it does require a lot of touching tables and guest interaction. But it's shaping itself differently because now I'm working more on the business, right? It's okay, what's the big picture? Okay, let's look at how we got here and how we're going to go forward, and applying a little bit of strategy. And I don't know about you, when you started your first business with Metro Appraisals, and even now with Meathead Charcoal, but I did not have any strategy when I first started. And it's been really nice now to get to a point where we have a team that's on board to where we can apply a little bit of strategy to just take us to the next level.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you just have to dive in and see how it goes and adapt the best you can, and have great people around you. But it's certainly fun when you start to grow and those people have the same vision you do, and you can really just expand and make it better every day. It makes it a lot more fun that way.
Oh, absolutely.
That's our experience. So that being said, what's the one piece of advice, if you could go back and tell Roland 10 years ago, what would you tell yourself?
Go all in. Go all in. Go all in mentally. Go all in financially for whatever the opportunity is. But that is kind of my advice to myself if I could go back. Hey, you want to take this little stake? No, you should go and try and take a larger stake. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, and I'd encourage this to anybody, and David, I'm young and dumb. I'm 27 years old, and I'm just fortunate to have really great mentors that have gotten me this far. And I have great mentors now that I'm leveraging and leaning on, and I have their permission to do so to help me get to where I want to be, because I don't want to be in this position in 10 years. I want to be in a totally different position. I really believe that where you want to be in 10 years starts right now. And so that's why I would tell myself, hey, go all in. You're 22 years old. You're not retiring tomorrow. Why don't you just put a little bit more risk into it? Because betting on yourself is way better than betting on the stock market. Or it's so funny because people will go work for someone else and they have a grand idea, and they're just maybe a little bit nervous to execute their idea, but they'll go bet on somebody else who is willing to execute their idea versus their own self.
So, Roland, you've certainly accomplished a lot at a young age, and you just referenced that you didn't want to be in this position forever. So what are your long-term goals?
Well, David, long term, I really just want to continue to expand what we currently have. I don't necessarily see us opening 100 restaurants in the next 10 years, and I just don't think that that's the restaurant group that we're really called to be. I think that the restaurant group we're called to be is an old school restaurant, because the art of a restaurateur is really a dying thing. We see all these brands popping up all over the place. If we have one more fried chicken restaurant in this city, I might lose my mind. But you see all of that. But I really think that the classic touch of a restaurateur is dying, and that's what I want to do, is just continue to refine the art of a restaurateur. There's great restaurants in this town, and I support a lot of them, but there's some restaurants here that you don't know the owner's name. You can't call them if your meal is really good, or even if you have a concern or complaint. And that's what we want to do with our group, is just take what we have, let's just slow down a little bit, let's refine our current offering, and then let's see what we can do to continue to improve our guest experience.
So let's think about summertime's approaching. Roland's out on the lake, Roland's at a friend's house, or maybe we're at a Thursday evening cookout at Grubb's. What are we putting on the grill? What's your favorite thing to put over your meathead charcoal?
Well, David, my favorite thing to cook over meathead charcoal is definitely going to be some marinated seasoned wings from Grubb's Market. We have awesome marinades. We do a chili lime marinade, an Asian style, and a Nashville hot. We have them every single week. They're made 100% from scratch. Chef Nick from Annabelle Restaurant, it's his recipe. And we also have marinated kebabs. So that's what's really cool, too, is we have very little waste at Grubb's. Whatever we cut down, whenever we cut down our beef, we're taking our beef fat, making house-made tallow out of it. We're using whatever scraps that just didn't make a perfect 14 to 16-ounce steak, and we're turning that into prime New York strip or prime ribeye beef kebabs that Nick marinates, and they're amazing. And when you cook that over meathead charcoal, I mean, it's perfect. Meathead charcoal gets to the perfect temperature to leave a nice char, but not a burn, just a nice char to it. And you can really control it better than any other charcoal that I've ever personally used.
So, Roland, we've already talked about how you've had great mentors and great people to lean on and good business partners. But if you could sit down and grill a steak and have a beer or a glass of wine with anybody in the world, in your industry or not, that you really want to pick their brain, who would that be?
Well, I think it would be probably Anthony Bourdain, who's no longer with us, but I just really enjoyed his show, and that was a big inspiration for me. All throughout college, I was fortunate to have the ability to travel a lot. So traveled all through Europe, South America, Central America, and that's really where I was picking and choosing what it was that I wanted in my personal restaurants, how we did things, the food that we served, the way we served it. And that show really inspired me. I mean, I binge watched all the seasons of Parts Unknown multiple times, and I just really liked the way that he described things, the way he treated people, and really the way that he cared and valued food and drink. And I think that there's a huge place in society for food, obviously, and for drink. But it's really cool as us as humans is how we've evolved over the years from where food was something that you might not have every day to now we have abundance, right? We have the ability to manipulate food, and it's more than just something that we need to live, but it's an art and a craft. And I just really would love to sit down with him and just talk to him. And he might have been a little troubled in those later years in life, but he impacted a lot of people in a really positive way.
He certainly did. Well, we certainly appreciate you being here, Roland. This has been great. Thank you for taking the time. Again, Roland's restaurants are located in Hall County, Georgia, in Gainesville and Flowery Branch. But if you want to tell everybody what those Instagrams are and the name of them again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got Grubb's Market. It's just on Instagram at Grubb's Market. We keep them all really simple. The Stag Chop House. We have Peyton's Pie Co. Caroline's on Main. Better Days by Peyton's. That one's a little annoying. But please follow us online, check us out, and come in and have a cocktail, have a glass of wine. Make a reservation if you can, and come see us.
Well, we certainly will. We appreciate you being here. We hope everybody will follow Roland's Restaurants and also follow Meathead Charcoal. Thank you.